sauce, which you can buy at the grocery store. I really like that because it's a little bit thicker, and it just works out really nicely with the marinade. It gives it a little bit of thickness. Then you want to stir that together. And you can see the honey starting to come into it. And I'm just using a non-stick small spatula. You could also use a whisk if you wanted, which I've done before. The non-stick whisks are really nice. And then I'm going to add a tablespoon of red wine vinegar. This is the vinegar that I made on one of the previous shows where I showed you how to make the herb flavored vinegars and oils. So it's really nice. I can tell you that it tastes really good and it smells really good. You could actually smell the herbs. This is basil and thyme, and also I think there's some, yes, there is some rosemary in here. So we're going to use a tablespoon of vinegar. That'll give it the sweet and sour flavor. And then you just want to season it with some pepper. This actually also has a little bit of red pepper in it too, and a little bit of salt. So as you know, I don't use a lot of salt because my husband he has some high blood pressure issues, so I try to stay away from salt, but we do a lot of pepper, and that gives it the flavoring. So I'm going to turn off the oven, and as you can see, it's all come together. So I'm going to come over to my chicken wings, and what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to brush the chicken wings with the marinade, kind of do it together, and you want to save some of the marinade for the grilling when we go outside. To make the blue cheese dip recipe, you just want to combine several ingredients. First, this is Greek yogurt, and what I've done is I am straining it to get all of the excess water in it, and that's important because you don't want the dip to be runny. And Greek yogurt is really healthy and has the most flavor compared to a traditional, say, Dannon yogurt. But I can tell you Kroger's now has Greek yogurt. They have their own brand, and I looked at both labels and they're exactly the same. So you can save some money by buying a Kroger brand Greek yogurt. So what you want to do is, after it's been straining, this has been straining for about a half an hour, you take and you put it into your bowl. And then you want to take this is a half a cup of Greek yogurt. Then you want to take a half a cup of mayonnaise. And I use a regular nice mayonnaise that's not low calorie, because sometimes the low calorie items have extra sugars in them, and I don't want that. So a lot of times you'd be amazed at how the low calorie items can actually have higher calories than a regular, say, mayonnaise that just has 3 or 4 ingredients. Then you want to take your blue cheese. This is crumbled blue cheese, and that is a half a cup of blue cheese. And then this is about a 1/4 cup of chopped celery that goes in. And then a tablespoon of chives. These are from my garden. And then a teaspoon of Worcestershire sauce. This is the nicest measuring spoon because I can adjust it to different measurements for whatever I need. And then all you do is take this and whisk it together. And you can see that it's nice and thick, so it's not going to be runny. It should hold up really well to the wings and to some cut celery. And once you mix this together, then you want to cover it and let it chill for 30 minutes. So when we come back, I'm going to grill the chicken, and then we're going to do some tasting of these great tailgate recipes.
Tired of mulching every year? Use Magic Mulch instead. It's an eco-friendly alternative to traditional mulch that lasts for up to 10 years. Looks just like wood mulch and is odor-free. Get 10% off. Go to magicmulch.net right now.
Buy local. Buy fresh at the Dixie Lee Farmers Market at Renaissance Farragut. Join us every Saturday morning from 9 to noon for locally grown produce, cheeses, herbs, potted plants, baked goods, pottery, handmade crafts, and more. This is our third season, and the Dixie Lee Farmers Market is still making it easier for you to buy fresh locally grown produce and fresh local goods, all offered from Tennessee farmers and artisans. The Dixie Lee Farmers Market, 12740 Kingston Pike at Renaissance Farragut.
I'm Don Sproles.
And I'm Karen Sproles.
We are the owners of the Lunchbox Restaurants.
Our cooking here is a lot like you would do in your own home.
It's like having you in our living room, having you in our dining room.
We do everything from scratch. All of our baking, all of our cooking is done from scratch. We know what's in our product. Our catering services are rather unique in that we're totally customized. We've done dinners for 2 people that a husband will pick up and surprise his wife with and take home. And we've done 1,500 box breakfasts. We can produce a wonderful event regardless of what your budget is.
We have customers that we feed today that we fed June 3rd, 1981. I think we can take a great deal of satisfaction out of that. And we enjoy working together and have continued to do that all these years.
Want to host or produce your own show? Knox Ivy is the solution. Email info@knoxivy.com for more information.
We're out on my patio and I've started to grill the chicken wings. This is my Weber grill that I've talked about before. The Mayo Garden Center is an awesome place to buy your grill from. Claxton Mayo is a wonderful person and the family has been in Knoxville for such a long time. What you want to do is make sure that you've got a lot of the marinade on your chicken wings and just place them on the grill. You can hear it sizzling, it smells really good. And you also want to be careful using a nice long type of tongs. You can see the handle of these. I'm not even near the burners. That's really important because you don't want to get burned. So I'm going to finish putting these last ones on the grill. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to start turning the ones that I laid down a couple of minutes ago. It takes about 5 minutes on each side to do the grilling. A little bit of smoke there. That's okay. So now I'm going to start to turn them. Oh, and they're looking nice. Nice, and I'm going to turn up the fire a little bit since I've got it open. Make sure that we've got a lot of heat coming here. You want it on a medium to high grill. But they've got nice grill marks on them. And they're looking really good. Again, as we talked in the first segment, this is an alternative to deep frying your wings. And it's much less fattening, and you still have a lot of flavor with the marinade. This is the chipotle marinade that's going to be sweet and sour. It's got the honey, so the sugars are coming out. That's what's giving it that glazy look. And then the chipotle has the spices, and then the vinegar also is the sour part. So you've got everything working for you with this marinade. And you can see that they're turning really nicely. I'm not having any problem. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to leave the rest of them because I just put them on the grill and they need a few more minutes. So when we come back, we're going to be back in the kitchen with the chicken wings done, and I'm going to show you how to put the rest of the marinade on the wings. One more tip, close your grill to let it get hot again, and you want to take this pan and put it into the sink. You never want to put cooked chicken back into a pan or a baking dish that had raw chicken in it, because that's how you can have problems with bacteria. So when we come back, we're going to have a great tasting of buffalo chicken dip, the alternative to the wings. We're going to have grilled wings, and we'll also have the blue cheese dip with the celery.
Want your business to be seen by thousands daily? Knox Ivy is the solution. Email info@knoxivy.com for more information.
How are you using social media to connect people to your business?
More than 1.6 million people are actively engaged on Facebook right now.
What are your regular clients saying about you?
Generation Y now outnumbers the baby boomers, and 96% of them are using social networking sites.
Could these be your potential clients?
Since 2000, there has been a 130% jump in the number of Americans who use the internet.
Local results are integral to all major search engines.
And advertising online means you're right next to your point of sale.
Knox Ivy offers local businesses a cost-effective way to advertise.
We can help integrate your advertising with social media
and optimize your exposure. Knox Ivy, new answers for new media.
Hello, I'm Michael Lott.
And I'm Angel Howard.
And I'm Angie Collins.
And we're two Angels and a Michael. Hey Angels, let's tell them about the show.
Well, this is a body, mind, spirit wellness show meant to invigorate you from the inside out.
You know, spiritual stuff can be really serious, and we're about bringing the light side of enlightenment.
So that's great, and so what? So what could you learn from us? Why do you want to watch our show?
First of all, this is not a one-way street. We want to know and hear what's on your mind, body, and soul, so please email us your questions.
We are presenting topics through a holistic point of view using music, movement, nutrition, intuition, and spirituality, adding a little bit of humor to make it easy and fun.
You will be motivated and uplifted to open to change for your individual benefit while realizing we are all one. When one is uplifted, we're all uplifted.
So enjoy.
Empower.
Inspire.
Today! So the chicken wings have come in from the grill, and what I'm going to do now is continue taking the marinade and just swathing it over the chicken wings just to give them some more flavor. You can see they look really good. And like I said, it's a great alternative to frying because it doesn't heat up your house and the calories are so much lower and the flavor of the grilled chicken wings with the marinade is so high. So let me put this pan aside. Next, we're going to pull out the buffalo chicken dip. Again, this is an alternative to the buffalo chicken wings. Oh my gosh, it looks awesome. It's nice and crunchy topping. And I actually cooked it for about 45 minutes compared to the 30 minutes that I had said earlier. So what we're going to do now is have a little taste. I'm going to take a little bit of the chicken dip. Oh, it smells so good. And it's coming right out of the pan, or right out of the baking dish like I talked about because it has the non-stick cooking spray. And I'll take a chicken wing and a little bit of blue cheese dressing, which I love with the celery. Get a celery stick. And then I'll take a chip. So I'm so excited because this is new recipes for me. I'm going to take a little bit of the buffalo chicken dip. Again, this was for my friend Jennifer. Oh my gosh, it is so good. Crunchy topping, lots of flavor with the chipotle sauce. Again, you can use hot sauce if you like. Let me try some of the blue cheese dip. Wonderful with the yogurt, blue cheese, and celery. And now I'm going to try a bite of the chicken wing. And I just want you to know that my family's going to laugh at me because I never pick anything up. I always use a fork and knife, even with ribs and with chicken. But I'm going to take a little taste. Oh my gosh, this is so good. Nice and done, as you can see. The grilling, it just gives it such a wonderful smoky flavor with the chipotle sauce. And the marinade is just awesome. So I hope that you've enjoyed today. I look forward to seeing you next time. We're going to keep on going with these tailgating recipes. And have a great day, and go Vols! Hi, I'm Mary Gushin, and I want to welcome you to Mary's Kitchen and Garden. Today I'm in front of my garden, and what I want to show you when we come back is how I'm going to expand it and show you how easy it is to start a garden. It's a beautiful fall morning here in Tennessee, and what John and I are doing is expanding the garden. It is so easy to start a flower garden, a vegetable garden, an herb garden in your yard. And what's nice is that you don't have to get rid of your sod or your weeds and do a lot of rototilling. You could do what's called the no-till method, which I've actually been doing for years, and it works great. There's just a few things that you need to know. The first is you want to use newspaper, and if you use the funny section, that means that you're going to have a lot of humor going on in your garden, which will help all of those plants. Then what you need is good compost and mulch. So as you can see here, we've already laid down the newspaper. The first thing you do is that you lay down 4 sheets, and you always overlap it, because the whole purpose is to not let the sun come into the turf. With no sun, it is going to die. And then the next step is that you wet down the newspaper, and that way, especially if it's windy, it doesn't blow away. And it also helps with the next step, which is the compost. So you can see here that John has laid down a nice thick layer of compost. What's nice about this is that it's actually been decaying for about a year, and you can see that it's nice, rich black dirt, and that there's still a little bit of pine needles and that type of thing, but that's okay because that's actually mulch. So this is what we've done here, is he's expanded it so that next year all that we will have to do is add some more compost and mulch, and then we'll just be able to work the soil and add the plantings. The benefits of this is that you do not have near as many weeds as you would have if you did the rototilling. The rototilling churns everything up and makes all of those seed pods and weeds and roots just want to just go crazy into your garden. And by doing it this way, it really cuts down on the work that you have to do. And then the next step next spring is that we will lay down like some pine needles to be our paths throughout the garden. The tomatoes are looking great, as you can see, and when we go in, we are going to make another tailgating recipe, which is beef short ribs, which I got from going to Shady Grove Farm. So I'm all excited to tell you about my visit there, and then we're also going to make a bean salad. We're back in the kitchen, and today we are going to grill beef short ribs. These short ribs were given to me by the owners of Shady Grove Farm, Jeff and Faith Price. They live outside of Harriman in Shady Grove, Tennessee. And I had the opportunity and the privilege to go out to their farm and visit them and really see how a working farm, what it really means, because I see cows all the time on the hillsides, and I really wonder, are they really grass-fed cows? Well, what I have learned is that in order to be a true grass-fed cow, that means that year-round, that is what the animals are given. And in order to make that happen, it's really important that the cows are moved over the acreage of the farm, and that all different types of grasses are planted so that the cows and the other animals receive a variety of different minerals and vitamins, and this is what keeps them healthy. And Shady Grove's cows and their other animals do not receive any antibiotics and preservatives or any type of additives to their feed and their health, and they just really believe in doing it the natural way. So they've been on this farm for about 5 years, and I was able to see the cows. In fact, 2 of the cows were getting ready to be artificially inseminated by some bulls from New Zealand, because in New Zealand they have all grass-fed pure. And so they really are all about keeping the lineage of pure grass-fed animals in their stock. In addition to the cows, they also have sheep, and I saw really cute little lambs and also older sheep. They keep those for a couple of years until they're ready to go to the market. And they also have free-range chickens that are both egg laying, and also they have chickens that are for the meat. And you'll see through the pictures that the white ones are for the meat, and the free-range egg-laying chickens are the brown and speckled ones. So they move them all around, and it's just really interesting because they have a full circle as far as the cows end up feeding on the grasses where the chickens were, and so do the lambs, and they just keep moving. And this way they all have the optimal type of grasses and just minerals and vitamins to give them the best tasting meat that they all have. So what we're going to do is take some short ribs. I've already cooked them because they have to be slow cooked like any other type of rib, and I've marinated them because I wanted to marinate them overnight. And I'm making a Korean type of or Asian type of rib. The marinade is garlic and soy sauce, onions and pepper and ginger. So when we come back, I'll show you the marinade and how the ribs look after they've slow cooked in my oven at 200 degrees for about 8 hours. And then we're going to take them on the grill and just grill them up. It's going to be a very short process because they're actually really already cooked.
Buy local, buy fresh at the Dixie Lee Farmers Market at Renaissance Farragut. Join us every Saturday morning from 9 to noon for locally grown produce, cheeses, herbs, potted plants, baked goods, pottery, handmade crafts, and more. This is our 3rd season, and the Dixie Lee Farmers Market is still making it easier for you to buy fresh locally grown produce and fresh local goods, all offered from Tennessee farmers and artisans. The Dixie Lee Farmers Market, 12740 Kingston Pike at Renaissance Farragut.
Spending a few minutes of your day preparing a meal for your family is really simple. I'm Jeffrey D'Alejandro, partner of the Crown and Goose in the Old City. I want to reach out to local folks and teach them how to cook a deliciously simple meal, how to choose good local products, and where to find them. Let's bring simplicity back into the kitchen. Join me every Friday at 3 for Marble City Eats only on KnoxIvy.com.
Thank you to MetroPulse readers everywhere for voting Knox Ivy the best new business for 2010. We love our role as an active partner in telling the world about the people, ideas, and activities that shape East Tennessee. Cheers!
Hi, I'm Mary Gushin, and I'd like to welcome you to my new show, Mary's Kitchen and Garden. This show is all about healthy eating, which means using ingredients from your garden and market that are fresh and in season. The recipes that I'll show you are easy to make and not too expensive. Everyone is on a budget, and I want to show you how to cook without using preservatives. Healthy, flavorful meals that you and your family will love. And remember, this is your show. Email me with your suggestions about cooking and gardening for the show, plus recipes that you would like me to try. Join me for Mary's Kitchen and Garden, only on KnoxIvy.com. So while the ribs are marinating and getting ready for the grill, I'm going to show you how to make 2 really easy bean recipes that were given to me by my sister-in-law, Anna. The first one is a layered bean dip that we're going to serve with taco chips. The first thing that you want to do is you want to take a can of refried beans. These are black beans, and you mix them with a packet of taco seasoning. Again, I use the low sodium taco seasoning, and that helps as far as the salt content. So you just put that into your dish. I'm using a crock. Happens to be the same one that I use for the chicken enchilada recipe that I've made. And then you take your spatula and you just lay it over the bean mixture.
and spread it around. And then you take salsa, just your favorite salsa, whatever it might be, and spoon that onto the bean mixture. And you just kind of want to eyeball how much you think you need. Pico de gallo would also be a good choice here. And then you want to take sour cream. Again, I use the all-natural sour cream because it has the least amount of additives and calories. And take your spoon. You can see I'm using a lot of different utensils here to keep everything nice and clean. Take your spoon and spread the sour cream along the top of the salsa. So you're using pretty much a full container of sour cream. And then you take guacamole, which I've already made as far as the essence of thyme. And what's nice is that this guacamole is made with a tomato that I picked from my garden, an heirloom tomato. It has cilantro and lime juice also in it. The same recipe that I've used in previous shows. Put it all on top. Again, you just want to spread that across the top. Try to get it over to the edges, but if you can't do it all the way, don't worry about it. I'm going to get all that guacamole right in there. And then you want to take finely shredded cheese. This is the Mexican cheese from the grocery store. That'll give it another little kick. And just lay that on top. And then you want to top it off with some green onions. And that's all there's to it. So what we're going to do now is make the bean salad, and then we'll do a tasting after we grill the short ribs. So I'm going to move this out of the way. And this recipe is also from Anna. It's actually from her good friend Tammy. And she's a real nice person. And I've had this recipe several times, so I asked her for it for the show. Oh, I just realized I forgot black olives. We're going to put black olives on the top of the layer dip too. So let me just throw those on real quick. Okay. And then this is really easy to make. You just combine everything. There's lots of different beans and lots of different peppers. And then you're going to make a dressing. So this is black-eyed peas, 1 container. I've already drained these and I have rinsed them where needed. This actually had a little bit of seasoning, so I didn't want to rinse those. Some white cannoli beans that I've already drained. This is white corn that also has a chipotle little flavoring in it with red peppers. And then you've got your black beans. Whoops. And you've got your red kidney beans. And then this is a jar of pimentos. You could also use fresh red pepper if you had those. And then we have fresh yellow pepper. And then some green chilies. And I've also strained these with the same strainer that I used for a previous show with the yogurt. Put that on top. And now I'm going to make the sauce. The sauce is very simple. You have a 1/2 cup of sugar along with some olive oil, a 1/2 cup of, or 1/4 cup of olive oil, an 1/8 cup of white wine vinegar. This is one of the vinegars that I made in previous shows. And I'm adding some mustard too, just to give it a little bit of a kick. And this is a new mustard, so I need to open it up. It also has a little bit more vinegar in it too. Just kind of a little, I like Dijon mustard. I think it gives it a real nice flavor. So I'm going to squirt about a tablespoon of that, and let me get my whisk. And also we want to put in some freshly ground pepper. As I've talked about, we really like pepper in this family. So then you just want to whisk it up. and the flavors really come together, and that sugar is also going to help emulsify it too. You can see that it's really coming together. Then you just want to take it and put it into the bean mixture. And then toss it. All of the flavors come together. You want to refrigerate it for about an hour to bring all the flavors together. And it's just a really nice, as you can see, so easy dip to make, and it just tastes really good. You can serve it with chips. You could serve it with chicken as a side dish. You could have it just by itself too. And the other thing that's nice is that it has a ton of protein. So it's really healthy, which, as you know from watching the show, I talk about that all the time. So when we come back, I'm going to meet you on the grill and finish up the ribs, and then we'll have our tasting.
Tired of mulching every year? Use Magic Mulch instead. It's an eco-friendly alternative to traditional mulch that lasts for up to 10 years. Looks just like wood mulch and is odor-free. Get 10% off. Go to magicmulch.net right now.
Buy local. Buy fresh at the Dixie Lee Farmers Market at Renaissance Farragut. Join us every Saturday morning from 9 to noon for locally grown produce, cheeses, herbs, potted plants, baked goods, pottery, handmade crafts, and more. This is our third season, and the Dixie Lee Farmers Market is still making it easier for you to buy fresh locally grown produce and fresh local goods, all offered from Tennessee farmers and artisans. The Dixie Lee Farmers Market, 12740 Kingston Pike at Renaissance Farragut.
I'm Don Sproles.
And I'm Karen Sproles.
We are the owners of the Lunchbox Restaurants.
Our cooking here is a lot like you would do in your own home.
It's like having you in our living room, having you in our dining room.
We do everything from scratch. All of our baking, all of our cooking is done from scratch. We know what's in our product. Our catering services are rather unique in that we're totally customized. We've done dinners for 2 people that a husband will pick up and surprise his wife with and take home. And we've done 1,500 box breakfasts. We can produce a wonderful event regardless of what your budget is.
We have customers that we feed today that we fed June 3rd, 1981. I think we can take a great deal of satisfaction out of that. And we enjoy working together and have continued to do that all these years.
Want to host or produce your own show? Knox Ivy is the solution. Email info@knoxivy.com for more information.
We're back outside, and now I'm going to show you the grilling of the ribs. Because of the absence of time, what I've already done is grilled them. And like I said earlier, it's really important to slow cook your ribs because that is when the majority of the flavor comes out. It needs a lot of time, and you want the meat to be really tender. So I slow cooked the ribs in the oven at 200 for about 8 hours with salt and pepper as the seasoning, and I also covered it. And I also gave it about a cup of beef broth just to add to it because remember, these are grass-fed ribs, so there isn't as much fat as there would be in a commercially produced beef rib. So as you can see, they are looking just fabulous. They're nice and glazed with the marinade, and the marinade was soy sauce, honey, ginger, garlic, olive oil, and a few other ingredients, which I will put on the blog. This and all of the recipes that I make for the show will be on my blog so that you can go there. And also feel free to give me suggestions that you would like me to try as far as recipes or gardening tips. I love to share those with the audience. So these ribs have already been on the grill at, again, a low temperature because we don't want them to burn, for about 20 minutes. And I'm just turning them so that you can see how there's very little fat now on them, and they have the nice glaze, and they just look great. So I'm going to pull them off. From what I was told by Jeff and Faith Price, who own the farm, when people buy their beef from them, they really never know what to do with the short ribs. And I think this recipe has really been a great recipe to try. You could also use these in a stew or in a slow cooker like a crock pot. There's several different ways. What you mainly want to think about is how to cook them slowly, because that's the most important part of the cooking process, because you need to make sure that they're nice and tender for when you're actually going to eat them. So we've got a nice full plate here. I got one more. I'll put this actually on my plate for the tasting. And what's really nice is that we're outside on my patio. It's such a beautiful day. Let me get these ribs. We've got the bean salad. We've got the nacho layer dip along with the chips. There was one thing that I forgot to mention when I was making the bean salad, and that is cilantro. You can see that I've added the cilantro. Very important part of the dish because it gives it so much flavor. So I'm just going to stir that up. And again, keeping it refrigerated for about an hour will let all the flavors come together. So let me take a spoonful of the bean dip, or of the bean salad, excuse me. It's really pretty too. You can see all of the different colors and all, like I said, all of those different proteins. Let me get a little bit of the layered dip. You want to use your spatula so that you get right down at the bottom of it. You can see I've got the guacamole. I'm going to go in there one more time so I get some beans. There we go. There's the beans and the sour cream. That looks really good. Again, great for tailgating. Very easy as far as making it. You can put it into a disposable container where you wouldn't have to worry about bringing the container back from the game. Let me take a little bit of the bean dip. So good. It's like a super duper nacho without having the chips on the bottom. And what's nice is that it could also be put into the oven and warmed. What you'd want to do though is take the guacamole and put it on the side before you'd put it in the oven. So let me try a little bit of the short ribs. This really reminds me of the Asian restaurants, but you can see how it's pulling apart so nicely. That means that it's really going to be tender and really done. Again, this would be great in a stew or also in a, you could use it almost like you would a chuck roast or a pot roast. Oh my gosh, you can really taste the garlic and the ginger really comes through. I'm so glad that I did this in the slow way because it's really important, and that is how you will have success with this type of a cut of meat. Also with pork, if you look at how the ribs are done, whether you're using a dry rub or a wet rub, they always really cook them slow and low. That's what they like to say, slow and low. And what that means is low temperature and a long period of time. It'd be great to do in the winter. You could probably warm your house down in Tennessee by having your oven on for that long of a period of time. And even today, with it being nice and a beautiful day in Tennessee, it has not warmed up my kitchen too much. So it's not like it's gotten hot. Let me try the bean salad. Again, lots of different flavors. Oh, it's so good. And I want to give another shout out to Tammy, Anna's friend, who gave us this recipe. I've had it several times at Anna's house. And also to Anna for giving me the recipe for the layered dip and also forwarding Tammy's recipe. All of these recipes can be found on my blog, and I really look forward to seeing you again. And we'll have to decide. I can't say for sure if I'm going to do tailgating one more time because we've actually done now 3 shows with tailgating, maybe even 4. So I'm just going to take it, play it by ear. Feel free though to send me what you would like me to do. We will be returning to the UT Gardens. We have several more segments to show you. And I think everything is going really well. So thank you all for your support and watching my show. And I really look forward to seeing you again.
Want your business to be seen by thousands daily? Knox Ivy is the solution. Email info@knoxivy.com for more information.
How are you using social media to connect people to your business?
More than 1.6 million people are actively engaged on Facebook right now.
What are your regular clients saying about you?
Generation Y now outnumbers the baby boomers, and 96% of them are using social networking sites.
Could these be your potential clients?
Since 2000, there has been a 130% jump in the number of Americans who use the internet.
Local results are integral to all major search engines.
And advertising online means you're right next to your point of sale.
Knox Ivy offers local businesses a cost-effective way to advertise.
We can help integrate your advertising with social media
and optimize your exposure. Knox Ivy, new answers for new media.
Hello, I'm Michael Lott.
And I'm Angel Howard.
And I'm Angie Collins.
And we're two Angels and a Michael. Hey Angels, let's tell them about the show.
Well, this is a body, mind, spirit wellness show meant to invigorate you from the inside out.
You know, spiritual stuff can be really serious, and we're about bringing the light side of enlightenment.
So that's great, and so what? So what could you learn from us? Why do you want to watch our show?
First of all, this is not a one-way street. We want to know and hear what's on your mind, body, and soul, so please email us your questions.
We are presenting topics through a holistic point of view using music, movement, nutrition, intuition, and spirituality, adding a little bit of humor to make it easy and fun.
You will be motivated and uplifted to open to change for your individual benefit while realizing we are all one. When one is uplifted, we're all uplifted.
So enjoy.
Empower.
Inspire.
Today!
Hi, I'm Mary Gushin, and I want to welcome you to Mary's Kitchen and Garden. It's a beautiful fall morning in East Tennessee, and today we're going to focus on root vegetables and grass-fed lamb. There are many different types of root vegetables, including radishes,